Hey, friends. Hello, friends and family. I probably should just call y'all family because y'all be family around here. Huh? What say ye? I imagine that you would probably agree. But anyways, how you doing? Hopefully you are doing fantabulous. I'm is. I am as well, is what that equated to. And I was just minding my own business. I was getting ready or about to start getting ready to go to bed. But Spirit started talking. Um, and it's important to get this message out to you all while it's still very fresh in me. Because it just happened. I really was minding, well, I always just be minding my business. In general, you can always find me minding my own business as one of my favorite things. But um, Spirit is still, I want to say still on this topic of self love, but that's always the topic. But there's some details that Spirit wants to get into about why people, and it's just this other side. I don't want to say other side. This part about people being extremely discomforted and uncomfortable by viewing themselves as God and by other people viewing themselves as God. Many find it particularly disturbing. Um, but Spirit wants to have you to take a look. If you find that you're one of these people and you are very uncomfortable about being referred to as God and other people referring to themselves and viewing themselves as God, there is a call to question yourself as to why. Why is this uncomfortable to you? And for you to have a deeper look at this, because Spirit wants you to know that it's not something that you readily see. It's kind of a nuanced thing that happens um, with many of us who were Lord, raised in religion, relays. And we've always been taught that God is outside of us. Now, there is a small part of that made reference to us being able to have this relationship with God, but it's always something on the outside of us. We aren't taught about the God that lives within us, and that because God is in us, that makes us God. But Spirit wants you to know that that is so important to know. And until you can reframe and view yourself in this way, you will have a difficult time seeing yourself. The other part of this, the Spirit was saying, is it often makes people really uncomfortable to be referred to as God because subconsciously it gives them their power back. And that sounds peculiar and unusual, but we've been conditioned to give our power. I mentioned this some of this yesterday, but Spirit wanted to elaborate on it today, apparently. Um, Because we are taught about this God that's outside of ourselves, we give everything to God. And because we give everything to God, we're just giving this God that's on the outside of us, that we don't have any kind of relation to. It's a completely separate entity from ourselves. So it relinquishes us of the responsibility and accountability that we have for the parts that are ours to take on in any situation or scenario. It's easy for us to give something to God because we don't want to deal with it anyway. We don't want the responsibility of it anyway. We don't want to be accountable to the outcome anyway. So if we give it to something that is outside of us, that is supposed to be much greater than us, it's comforting us to know that we have given our power out to something that is supposed to be greater than us. But often you are waiting on Jesus to take the wheel, or this external God to change your situation. Meanwhile, this source is waiting on you to move. You're moving toward whatever it is that you are trying to create. You are repositioning, you are realigning to get to that place, but that would require that you take responsibility and accountability over your own life and situations. You have that power until you give it out. So, subconsciously, there is a deeper look that needs to be taken because we have been so taught to believe that we are powerless in this way and that we don't have any kind of say or thing that we can do that can assist us in any way to get to the places that we are trying to get to, whatever those places may be. We don't, because of the way we've been taught to reverence God, the God that is outside of us, the one that we're so heavily taught about, we can't fathom that being something that we possess. We can't fathom that we are of such greatness and such worthiness, such depth, and such power. We, when we're believing this and only this, there is no way that we can be as great as we have been taught to reverence this God that is outside of ourselves. I hope that is making sense. I trust that it is making sense to the people that it's supposed to, because I already asked Spirit to make it make sense. But I still hope that I'm doing it justice and in a way that you see your light and you see your power in this life, and you see how caged you are when you don't know that you are God, how weakened you become when you don't know that you are God. That is why these situations and scenarios that we end up in, we feel so trapped in, because we will not take our power back. We have, it is so tough. We have been so ingrained in this way. We have a blatant refusal to get up and move, to change. You can change anything at will. You are that powerful, because the first thing you start with is your mindset. You change, if you can change your mind right now about something and it be changed and be different, and you no longer believe that way, whatever the way you changed it from, because you are that powerful. That is the God component of you that allows you to be able to do that. So it's so important for you to understand that, yes, there is God, completely different. And I mostly usually prefer to consider it as source, because we're all speaking of the same God, but religion, organized religion, gets it so meshed up and in this really kind of hateful representation, and that's not God. And there's this popular belief that there can only be one, you serve one God. And there may be, okay? There may be one God, but we're all referring to that one, calling it something different. So I don't take any problem with the fact that people make reference to God as God. While I may prefer source or the universe or something else, just to not be confined by what that usually insinuates for many. It's one and the same. We're all one. We are all an extension of the one God, the universe, source, infinite intelligence, infinite wisdom. With that said, until we know that and can see that, it brings about conflict within us. And that is something that needs to be searched through for ourselves, within ourselves. You don't have to run away from your power. To not see yourself and know yourself as God leaves you powerless, as if you are only existing in this place, as if you don't have any kind of authority. Your scripture tells you that you have dominion. In fact, your scripture calls you God. Anyway, it's hard to see because of how many of us have served the God that we've been groomed to know. Don't let that go over your head. Think about that. This external God that we have been groomed toward, we don't exactly we don't exactly treat it right. Even though I'm not proclaiming that this external God is the way, But yeah, it would bring some discomfort if you don't feel like you are meeting the standard or living up to the standard that this external guide is or expects from you, then yeah, you would see yourself as less than and unworthy to be compared to. Take your power back. Know that you are God. Don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid of your power. It's okay to possess this power. If it were not, you would not even be here. You wouldn't even exist. Because you, as the God that you are in your infinite wisdom, saw this life and thought, I would like to experience that. I'll go down there and experience that. And here you are. Don't be ashamed of that. Don't be discomforted by that. There is more power for you in this knowledge and realization than there is anything else. And once you know that you are God, your confidence comes way up. Your creation comes way up. Your belief in yourself, your worthiness, your deservedness, it all comes way up. You no longer think of yourself as some damsel or downtrodden, unworthy individual, mere human. You automatically stop being helpless. You rise up and you do all that needs to be done. Because why? You can, because you got, and there are no limits. It's hard as hell to think about yourself as being living limitless when you've been taught to be limited. Anyway, yeah, it's a conflict that's taking place inwardly. Always, this is actually the greatest conflict that we face. And this is the confidence problem that we have because many of us refuse to believe that we are God. We are refusing to take our power. Listen, Spirit just made reference to this card. This 4 cups. So you see how this looks? Person sitting underneath the tree, 3 cups in front of them. That's the regular stuff. And then there is a hand handing a cup out of the sky. Or we'll say it's the universal hand. Let's call it a universal hand or the hand of God that's trying to give you your power back. And you got your arms all folded. You refuse to take it. You don't recognize the power that is being handed to you. It's yours, but you don't see the value in it, so you won't take it. That's good. Take it. Take the power. It's yours. Grow in this confidence. It'll take some getting used to because it takes time to work against all of those things that we've been taught in error all of this time. And all of it ain't wrong. It's bullshit mixed with truth. That's what makes it so convincing. Anyway, I leave you this message in love and in light, only and always. Until next time, holla at your girl, boy.